10 seconds remaining.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 8, Day 15 coverage here on Beyond the Summit. Game 2 of the day is going to be Aspera versus Virtus Pro. Then, of course, coming up next will be our third match, the Sigma versus Alliance matchup, the big one today, the big kahuna, if you will. But first, we have to get through VP versus Aspera. We're going to switch it up a little bit. I am Zayori once again, but now joining me is Merlini. Merlini, my friend, how are you on this fine morning?
Good, and yourself?
Doing very well. Had a nice first game to get things started off. Next.kz continuing their dominance. They're now 9-2 in the group stages, man. They are out of control.
Yeah, their record is actually pretty ridiculous. They're well on their way to make it to the offline finals.
Yeah, they really are. So, Aspera versus Virtus Pro actually here. We can take a gander at their standings right now. And Aspera, where are they? Everyone has different names in the bracket, so it's harder to find. Aspera right now 4-7, so looking a little bit grim that they'll be able to make it through. Virtus Pro, they're right on the cusp though. Right now they are 6-4, so still hope that they may be able to make it into the top 4, but alas, they will need this victory over Aspera. So, draft well underway here. It was a first pick Elder Titan from Virtus Pro. Clockwork CM grabbed by Aspera, and then they did grab that Mighty Alchemist. So things unfolding in a pretty standard manner to start things off.
Yeah, Aspera has had some roster issues, even though they have stand-ins. I think these are the same stand-ins that have been playing with them for some time. They had like Ink Visitor plus, is that Aspera? I don't know. They had a couple of other people.
Yeah. Ink Visitor and Sharfik are the two staples that we've seen throughout. Tomash has been a pretty consistent stand-in. David, I'm not sure about, and Rusiat, I'm not sure who that is, but Lucky I think has been standing in as well. Poor Aspera, though. They've been having roster issues for sure. Sad times.
They were looking good right before they switched the roster. I'm not actually sure why they changed. Usually when people are struggling, they go through roster changes. But Aspera wasn't really struggling.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? But as we've seen, the strategy to beat Aspera seems to be just shut down Sharfik. That's what we saw at least in the last match against Aspera. I forget who they played against, but that's the name of the game. If you can shut down Sharfik, prevent him from getting a lot of momentum, that seems to be the golden ticket to a pretty easy victory. So we'll see. We'll see what they draft him here. Storm Spirit, that signature hero of his, but quite a few in his repertoire.
It looks like VP has actually banned out the Doom. I thought they were just going to pick Doom and then just use that to kill Sharfik over and over, even if he does manage to win mid. So I'm a little bit surprised that VP hasn't gone that route.
Yep. And Elias Alchemist going to be picked up here once again for all those same reasons we've been continuing to see him. How did Virtus Pro like to run their Alchemist? Are they a support Alchemist kind of group, or is there a chance that this may actually be one position or mid Alchemist?
It's almost always been support Alchemist nowadays. Yeah. It's kind of like Nagasaran. Nagasaran used to be like solo mid and carry, and now she's just support all the time.
Yeah. It's a little sad. Well, we need to see Alliance next game. Maybe S4 will treat us to some Alchemist solo mid. Certainly a possibility. He has been doing that quite a bit as of late.
Hero is ridiculous.
Yep, he sure is, man. He is crazy.
VP already has a very nice minus armor strat. I don't think they like to run Shadow Fiend often. I think they've run it a couple of times, but they usually give G like a pretty aggressive solo mid.
Yeah. Puck is one that he does like to play on occasion.
Yeah, they also give him Queen of Pain way more than other teams like to play Queen of Pain. His Queen of Pain is pretty good, though.
Yeah, there's going to be that OD pick. We did see a very successful OD in the last game, but ooh, Viper probably going to be that mid hero for Virtus Pro. I guess it could be a safe lane Viper as well. Is that a god hero?
Not bad versus OD. I don't think I've seen him play it, but it was immediately picked after OD, so I expect that it is just going to be a solo mid Viper.
Yeah, last match we saw DK versus OD in the mid, and poor Dragonite, man, he did not fare so well in that last match. That's for sure.
Yeah, you really have to draft against OD. You can't just put a normal mid hero in mid. You have to put like Viper. Razor actually does pretty well too. So yeah. People have like just not been using Razor at all. I still think the hero is fairly strong. Problem is you like have to get a BKB on him. and he's just really, really fragile without it.
Do you like Razor as a mid hero, or do you like him in the one position better if there's no OD?
It depends. It depends on what the carry hero is in the tri lane. If it's a Razor, or if it's a Razor versus Lifestealer, or a couple other ones like Troll, I think he does really well versus. There's not that many people run Troll, but most melee carries he fares very well against, and mid he fares very well against OD. But he's flexible. You can put him wherever.
What happened to Troll, man? Troll was popular right when he hit Captain's Mode, and then all of a sudden, I can't even remember the last time I saw somebody play Troll. Oh, the nerf stick came, and that was the end of him.
Yeah, pretty much. His whirling axes got nerfed, and his battle trance got nerfed. I think even a little bit more.
I see. So, interesting fourth pick here from Virtus Pro. They're going to grab an Enigma to go with that Viper, Alchemist, Elder Titan combo. Not a hero we see enough of, in my opinion. Of course, I think
most certainly not.
The most effective jungler, the most efficient in the jungle.
The most efficient.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's.
And
fair.
he's almost ungankable too, or at least by one hero. There's like almost no way that one hero can stop him.
Yeah.
Maybe if you go at level 1, but once he gets like level 2, level 3, there's just no stopping his farm, and he farms probably the fastest Soul Ring, irrelevant at creep camps too. Because if you get like golems as a Darkseer, you're kind of screwed. But with Enigma, you can still clear him out fairly easily.
You can't use conversion on mud.
No, you can't. But they still do plenty of physical damage. That it doesn't really slow you down.
Just bring the Eidolons over. Yeah, that is one key thing. A lot of junglers at least struggle with those mud golems. But alas, we'll see what Aspera want to grab with their final pick here. Slark was banned out by Virtus Pro, and I think that's a pretty wise ban here. Slark could do pretty well with that Aspera roster. Lifestealer could be an option. They don't have a great delivery mechanism. I guess Clockwork is okay. But if they want to go that kind of hard carry route to pair with that OD, they could. I guess against Viper, Lifestealer isn't really ideal.
Yeah, they might use something strange here. I don't know. Their draft is just a little bit strange overall with the fairly early Enigma pick. There's still a Rubik in the pool. I guess they aren't going to run a Rubik, but
Luna.
It's still something that is annoying to deal with as an Enigma.
Yeah. So my biggest problem here from the Aspera draft is they don't have many tools to deal with this Enigma. I mean, they do have some interrupt. Lucent Beam works pretty well. Astral Imprisonment. They've got Clockwork as well. Clockwork, a great hero to try and deal with Enigma. But, oh boy, Witch Doctor going to be that fifth pick. Interesting draft. Witch Doctor, not a hero that gets a lot of love either, though he can be quite potent as well.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I like the hero. He just does not seem to do that well because he's fairly level dependent as a support, like paralyzing. You pretty much need at least 1 point in your voodoo heal. You need to max Maldic and max Cask, and you need to get Death Ward. And there's just very little way he's going to get levels early game. Like, yeah, you can casks for creep kills, but it's nowhere near as effective as Frostbite jungling from Crystal Maiden or Sacrifice from Lich. And he is like okay in a trial. He excels at fights outside of the creeps though, but so does Aspera with their Lich with Chain Frost.
Well, should be interesting. I'm trying to think. I don't know the last time I saw a Witch Doctor. I mean, what is the power that he brings to the table here? What are you looking for when a team grabs a Witch Doctor? Yeah,
Death Ward's really good if you can actually use it, but I mean, they have a couple ults that you just can easily avoid with Enigma Black Hole, with Witch Doctor Ultimate, with Elder Titan Ultimate too. Like, you can cancel the first two and just dodge the last one. So VP, they may be hard pressed unless Enigma hits some really nice black holes.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right, let's take a look at our rosters here. Things in the laning phase not going to go quite the way we thought for Virtus Pro. In the bottom, it is going to be a solo safe lane Viper, at least for now. Going to be played by Illidan. Right now, Enigma in the jungle being played by Arzart, and he will be jungling defensively here on the Radiant side of the map. In the mid, it is going to be God playing on Alchemist. So indeed, we are going to get to see that solo mid Alchemist here. A nice change of pace from the support Alchemist that we both were not so excited about. Witch Doctor going to be in the top lane, played by JOTM. And I love that little the headpiece he's got. I've never seen that piece on Witch Doctor before. It looks pretty cool. He's got like a plank on his face. Looks kind of funny.
It looks like a shield.
Yeah. And Light of Heaven going to be on the Elder Titan up here in the top lane. So sort of interesting, a Witch Doctor Elder Titan duo lane. Not what I would have imagined, but we'll see how long this lasts here. They are going to be up against the duo lane of Aspera in the top. It is going to be Russiat, something close to that, playing the hard farming Luna here. He will be supported by Lucky on that Crystal Maiden. In the mid lane, Sharfit going to be playing on the OD up against the Solo Alchemist. And of course down here in the bottom, the 2-1-2 from Aspera will be rounded off with Tomash on the Clockwork. And he'll be supported by David playing on the Lich.
Yeah, with one support in each off lane, it's going to be very hard pressed for anyone to get like a huge edge in the lane. Yeah, not too much going on here. I guess AA, he kind of does have free roam though, because both of the supports are most likely just going to sit in lane. Lich does not do that well if he roams, and Crystal Maiden, without level 1 Frostbite, isn't really going to be able to do that much. I'm actually surprised that he went level 1 Crystal Nova, just because they're up against a dual lane, and he can just play greedy and get levels. It's not like Witch Doctor is going to be able to kill you at level 1. Witch Doctor Elder Titan, they don't really have any damage.
Yeah. They've got a little bit, but now the astral damage has been nerfed. And what did Witch Doctor go? I'm assuming he got Cask level 1, and he actually went Restoration, so not going to get that level 2 Maledict. So slightly more defensive Witch Doctor build, I guess you could say here. In the mid lane, though, we do have Alchemist versus OD, and so far God seems to be faring pretty well. That Acid Spray actually starting to add up on Sharfik a little bit. 7-0 on the Alchemist versus the 10-6 OD, so still a bit one-sided, but all in all, God not doing a bad job here.
Both teams have like a fairly decently like explosive lineup. Like if Clockwork just starts hitting mad hook shots in the mid game, they can get really far ahead. But if VP, they just gank a lot with Alchemist and Witch Doctor, they can also get really far ahead. So I think both of these teams can make things happen before the opposing carry gets BKB, if they're actually even going to get BKB. Viper most likely just gets mech. He doesn't often need a BKB, but Luna almost certainly will.
Yeah, mech probably just straight into that Ags, the pretty classic Viper build. The disparity to start things off here is going to come from that Enigma. As we mentioned, he is one of the most effective junglers, and that should open up a little bit of better farming for Virtus Pro, and Arzart completely unchecked. Should have a pretty good time. Aspera will take a small golden experience lead, but ooh, Luna up in the top, going to take a bit of pressure. That Cask going to be bouncing around. Light of Heaven will connect with an Astral, and looking like he wanted to chase it down, but Lucky comes in with the Crystal Nova, and that will repel the efforts of Virtus Pro. So no kills on the board quite yet. And I think you're spot on. Probably going to be a pretty quiet laning phase here, though. As I say that,
the bottom rune.
Yep. As I say that,
actually
Illidan
gave it up.
Uh-oh. This Viper in big trouble. Tomash going to be able to chase him down with the Battery Assault. The Cogs come out. Lich going to finish him off with that Frost Nova. And that will be the end of Illidan on the Viper. Well played by Aspera and this long lane duo.
Yeah, nice early boots pick up by the Clockwork to secure that first blood. And Viper, he does need a little bit of babysit now. He needs one of the supports to rotate, or else he's just going to die in the exact same manner. Frost Blast, catch up to him with Cogs, and then just lock him in there with Battery Assault. So either AA or Jodam has to have a TP scroll, or just sit down there to babysit him, or Illidan just has to play extremely, extremely passively. But he's already getting denied fairly heavily. His CS is pretty poor.
Yep, sitting only 7-3 right now. And of course, Lich, the denies a little bit misleading because he does sacrifice those creeps. So even more than the denies would show, denying the farm of the Viper here. And I'm still surprised that Jodam is sitting up in this top lane. I would have thought babysitting the Viper would be much more important than trying to babysit the Elder Titan, who should be able to semi-shine here in the off lane. Yeah, Cask bouncing around. Are they going to be able? Nope, not enough follow-up. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just surprised to see Light of Heaven the one getting the babysitter.
Yeah, I am too. I think that Illidan is usually the farmer for the team, and I think he generally makes better mid-game decisions, so he's more important hero with farm. Illidan actually went for a no poison attack build, full defense mode with max corrosive skin.
Yep, level 4, 0-2-2. Kind of has to. I mean, at this point, he's barely even auto-attacking, so...
Well, it's nice to have like one level of poison attack, so you can just harass a Clockwork and prevent him from coming up to you. But he has phase boost already, so now you can't. Poison attack won't really do that. They might kill him right now.
Yeah, and there you go. Frost Nova to start it off, and Tomash going to come in. Battery Assault. Cogs are going to come out momentarily here, and Viper going to get caught almost. It seemed like he wanted to hop onto the other side of the Cogs, but very easy kill here for Aspera. Same story, different chapter. Still no rotations coming out from Virtus Pro. Jodam
as soon as he sees the phase boost, he just has to back off, or just let his team know, because that's just silly. Dying in the exact same way in the exact same place again.
Yeah, And it's just going to get harder now that he's conceded 2 deaths. Only level 4. Clockwork is soon going to be level 6, and that's going to make things even more difficult when hookshot becomes a reality. And, yeah, that damage is just going to become all the more potent. Looks like they are looking for Arzart here. They are going to rotate into the jungle, and Arzart going to be heads up about it. Will back up just in the nick of time, and he won't get scouted out. But looks like they could rotate to the mid lane. Perhaps going to set up a kill onto the Alchemist here.
Arzart has actually been really slow at farming too. You usually can hit level 6 before the mid heroes do if you're really efficient about your juggling. He's still a full level behind, and even the 2 offlaners are higher level than him. They're both almost level 6, and the AA is not that close.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right. Maybe I haven't been paying attention to his jungle rotation. Maybe getting some unlucky camps? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, he went for a soul ring. I don't think he got enough clarities in the meantime, but he hasn't been able to help his team at all. A lot of people opt for a very early mass clarity build, so you'll have enough mana for Malefice if you need to gank. But when you go into an early soul ring build, you have like almost no mana left over early, so you can't cast Malefice and you can't play aggressively at all.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Clockwork did grab himself a 6-minute haste rune here as he was moving about the jungle, but okay, here's the rotation down bottom. God gonna charge up the concoction. Will connect on the Clockwork. The Acid Spray comes out as well. He is safe in the cogs for now, but not for long. I think Tomash gonna be destined to fall right here. Down he goes as Alchemist finishes him off. Lich just gonna pour it out. AA trying to make his way over. Not gonna have the Malphite still on cooldown, and that will be a surviving Lich. So they do grab a kill. A nice rotation from God, but that actually took 4 of them. JOTM gonna come down here as well. So a lot of resources used to secure that kill on Clockwork.
Sharfik's CS is almost triple Alchemist right now. So Alchemist, even if he is mid, he can't really shut him down. It's mainly whether or not he wants to get his farm from killing creeps or killing heroes. And I think it's definitely important to secure Illidan's farm. He still has no points in poison attack, just going for max corrosive skin, but he still is very likely to die, especially without going any items. Not sure whether he's going for a Midas. I think this is just a damage control Viper with treads and or mech early.
Yeah, and speaking of Midas here, it looks like it is going to be the Outworld Devourer to grab the first and only Midas perhaps in this match. Does have the recipe in the bank and just trying to grab another 250 gold or so to get himself the gloves he needs. Down to the bottom lane, hook shot in, Arzart going to come in. That's going to be a black hole. Will connect with 3, but the damage isn't there. All of them survive. Now Luna going to use the Eclipse, and that will do a bit of damage. Enigma going to fall in exchange for the Lich, and the Luna going to go down as well. So Virtus Pro will find the better of it, at least for now. The tower does fall also. Lucky going to have to head for the hills. And, well, that's going to be a 3-for-1. A nice black hole coming out from Arzart.
Yeah, very nice black hole. After Clockwork had already used his hookshot, and Lich, he had Chain Frost, but I think he got caught, and they killed the Luna in the process. So that's very, very important for them. I think that Sharfik maybe farming up for his Midas is hurting them right now because they just gave up a really, really big trade when they had a very, very decent early game. If you look at the swing in the goal graph, it's almost back to 0 because they chose to fight that fight. And yeah, it was only 4 heroes from VP, but Light of Heaven doesn't actually offer that much. He went 3 in Astral Spirit, so he would have only had level 2 natural order there, and he just doesn't do that much compared to what an OD can drop at that point in the game. But it looks like Sharfik's going to take a spill in mid.
Yep, absolutely right. Arzart going to rotate in. Malphite to start it off. An easy concoction from God, and that will be the end of the OD. So that graph going to be even worse now. A huge lead for Aspera, now going to actually go the way of Virtus Pro. They've taken the gold lead by about 500 in experience graph, quickly closing onto that 0 mark. And oh my, up in the top lane, looks like Elder Titan is going to fall to the wrath of the Luna, but Luna will fall in exchange. As the ultimate from Witch Doctor does come out. I caught the tail end of it. I thought they were going to have a skirmish in the mid lane instead. So an Elder Titan for the Luna. Very high value target there for Virtus Pro. I'm sure they'll be happy with it.
Yeah, they're just making way better trades in this mid-game. Aspera, they're letting the Luna die too much, which is not that bad, but they're also just not using their really long cooldown ultimates to secure kills, whereas VP, as soon as Enigma hits level 6, uses Black Hole. Witch Doctor, as soon as he hits level 6, uses Death Ward. Aspera, no Sanity's Eclipse yet, no Chain Frost yet. They need to get more kills if they want to get back into, if they want to retain the lead. And Goldcraft, as you said, has slipped back in favor of VP. They are up 1 tower, though, so in terms of just pure CS, Aspera definitely has the lead there, but a lot of it has to do with the sacrifice lane control and OD just free farming mid. So it looks like they may take another 45 fight here. If Sharfik doesn't come to this fight, I think they're just going to get obliterated.
Yeah, this tower falling very quickly. It looks like they wanted to go in for the deny. They're not going to find it, and it might cost them right here. Malphite comes out onto the Lich. Viper laying in with the auto attacks, and he may survive, but around the backside, Clockwork did finish off the Witch Doctor. Now they're on the run. Lucky going to fall. Tamash going to be in big trouble here as well. A nice concoction from that Alchemist. And, yeah, that's going to be a 1 for 2, and Virtus Pro still get the tower kill. As you mentioned in this mid-game, finding great exchanges, and that's going to be another one to add to the list. Sharfik still just farming away down in the bottom lane.
Aspera needs to communicate a little bit better or just make better decisions. If they're going to fight us 4, what they need to do is just snipe people as fast as possible. Just like with hookshot Eclipse, boom, kill somebody and then get out. And then wait for your cooldowns to be up. And then it's 4-on-4, trading an ultimate or 2 for a kill, which is fine. But the way they're taking these engagements is they're just letting VP not get they're just not getting away with anything right now. And VP is able to counter engage every time they engage. And that's just not what you want to do, especially like at this tower. They had like an engagement over here, whereas Clockwork hookshotted the Witch Doctor over here. If they were all down there with the Witch Doctor, they could just kill the Witch Doctor and then just proceed after that to fight 4-on-4. But if it's not a bad decision to let Sharfik farm because OD is so incredibly strong in the mid, like post 20-minute mark. But at the same time, they're giving up a little bit too much for it.
Yeah, and especially losing 2 towers as well as a poor exchange up top. That's exactly what Virtus Pro are hoping for. One thing that is good for Aspera, though, there's only 1 Midas on the field, and it is in the inventory of that OD, and Sharfik is still #1 on the net worth chart. So not all hope is lost, that's for sure, but they're going to have to start turning up the juice here a little bit. And it looks like Luna could be working towards, well, I was going to say Vlad's, but probably just going to be a Helm of the Dominator to go with that Basilius. I'm not sure Vlad's on Luna makes a lot of sense.
G on bottom.
Yep, down to the bottom lane. Outworld Devourer gonna get caught.
G has his blink now. So now Sharfik is very, very screwed because he can't split push now because they'll just go in with Alchemist, have someone TP in, and he'll just blink on him and kill him with +1, as they just did. So even with a Force Out, that's not going to save you. Maybe if you Astral yourself and dodge it, maybe you can TP out afterwards, but that's still a very unlikely proposition. So VP was bold enough to push top tower without Black Hole, so they're certainly bold enough to push mid tower with Black Hole, with the mech, and after winning the last engagement. Aspera needs to halt their momentum, or VP is just going to run away with this mid game. This is a very crucial fight for them.
Yep. And Virtus Pro does have a mech now. It is in the inventory of the Viper. Another disparity for him that's going to make this team fight a little bit easier. Here we go. Sharfik going to start off with the Sanity's Eclipse. Chainfrost going to come in. Will bounce about some of the creeps. Not going to do the most damage. Outworld Devourer. He will be the first to fall. Now Luna going to port in. Will burn the Eclipse. Going to do a little bit of damage, but there are plenty of creeps nearby to absorb some of it. That's going to be a 3-for-0 to start off this fight. And it's not over yet. Tamash and David under heavy assault. God going to go forward. That's going to be an unstable concoction on the Lich, and Lich is going to be destined to fall. Tamash may be able to make it back to the base, but he will be the lone survivor. Oh no, Virtus Pro with another convincing team fight. And
yeah, they just don't have enough
use Black Hole.
They needed an Eclipse to catch the Alchemist. Like, Alchemist was out here alone. His whole team was right next to the T1. That's like a good full screen away. They just need to snipe kills here and there really quickly. But Clockwork Hookshot, no follow-up. Like, CM, not that much burst. OD has burst, but he doesn't have the int items right now to support it. If he had Treads and Force Staff, maybe he can burst him down with Satan's Eclipse. Lich Chainfrost, not very good for a single target. They really need a Luna there. Luna used her Eclipse on, like, Eidolons, half Eidolons.
And here we're going to see Lucky in a little bit of trouble. She'll get initiated, or he'll get initiated on, I should say. And is going to go down here. The tier 2 tower in the mid lane does fall as well. Mech going to get popped, and this fight's still going to transpire poorly for Aspera. Now David going to fall. Just too much crowd control from Virtus Pro. And it might not even be over yet. They might be able to continue pressing as they still have a Black Hole available and everyone in a reasonably high hit point pool. Alchemist going to hop in. That's going to be a dead Sharfik. Hookshot comes in onto Illidan now. But the Death Ward comes, and this may secure the kill onto the Clockwork. Down he goes. It's just a bloodbath here in the mid lane, Merlini. Back-to-back 4-for-0 exchanges for Virtus Pro, and they still are yet to back up the sustain between the mech as well as the Witch Doctor of Voodoo Restoration. They're just going to be able to keep on keeping on. No glyph available, and this could end up being Rax here in this one very long push. God showing us what Blink Dagger Alchemist is all about here in the mid game.
I like the Blink Dagger Alchemist. It just like guarantees a very clean initiation a lot of time. And if you don't want to hit a stun, you can just blink out and you'll stun yourself in safety instead of putting your team in a compromising position. But G has just been extremely active this game. I think his rotations has won VP the game, or not to say the game's won, but it's pretty close to getting there. He's 4-0-10, and his CS was atrocious versus the OD. So. Oh, yeah, they might kill Illidan here, but I think a lot of players focus way too much on CS and mid. Losing in CS is okay as long as you can make something happen on the map. And even though Viper had an atrocious start, they just turned this game right around because G came bottom, and then he got the early Blink Dagger to pick off Sharfik and pretty much nullify his early farm. His CS is still like half of OD's right now, but his net worth is a whopping 2,000 above OD because they've been able to take out 6 towers.
You're absolutely right about that. One of the great things about Blink on Alchemist is it just gives you so much range. Unstable Concoction alone already has a pretty long range. So if you can Blink in and Concoction, I mean, you can initiate on people from a screen away. And we've seen that a few times now on the OD. He's just been getting continually shut down. Does have a Force Staff now, but they really capitalized on that Hand of Midas investment from OD. That window of opportunity where you don't have much to show for that economic investment. And Virtus.pro have really done a lot of work to make sure they capitalize. More initiation coming out here. God actually going to stun himself. Oh no, that's going to be a dead Alchemist to start off this fight, though. Still going to transpire poorly for Aspera. I think Sharfik will fall shortly after. Hookshot in, will connect with Illidan here. Arzar does have a black hole available. Is he going to burn it? Now he is going to use an Eclipse on the Luna. Nice, not going to connect onto the Enigma, and yeah, that black hole going to secure the fight. Luna will fall, and that's going to be a Viper and Alchemist in exchange for all 5 of Aspera. Obviously, this mid lane of Rack's going to fall, and I mean, we could be moments from a GG here. We're only 16 minutes in, but Aspera, I think at that point of no return here, about a 14,000 gold lead as their mid lane of Racks do fall.
Yeah, he's had some really good black holes, and he's only cast 2 this game, but both of them were like really good because the first one was when VP was behind, they needed that momentum shift, and they got the tower. He died, I believe, but it still wasn't that big of a deal because they just got so much out of it, and that black hole was 3, and pretty much all 3 were like on the edge of there, so yeah. Pretty confident in his holes, and the big surprising thing is that VP also won so many other fights without hole. They won the fight on top, they won the fight in mid without hole at the T1s, and if they can win a fight without hole, they're definitely going to win a fight with hole. Yeah. So Aspera, I don't really think it was a lineup issue either. I think that if OD had gotten a mech instead, they would have been able to contest the 5-on-5s, but Sharfik did not anticipate the game going this way. I didn't really anticipate the game going this way too. Yeah. Sharfik looks like he's going to get picked off in mid.
Yep, same story, different chapter. Elder Titan actually going to finish him off. Lucky going to come in, try to burn the freezing field, but gets interrupted right away. And now Lich just going to get right-clicked down by the Viper as God comes in, will throw the concoction. That's just going to be an easy 3 kills coming out for Virtus.pro to start off this fight. Now Tomash going to get stunned inside of his cogs, and there's a Necronomicon out on the field. That'll finish him off. And also there's an Ag Scepter in the inventory of the Witch Doctor, so now that Death Ward does a good bit of AoE damage and also hits quite a bit harder.
So, but GG?
Yep, GG. There you go.
Well, Witch Doctor did decently. One thing that I noticed that he almost always did was wait for the hookshot, drop his ward immediately, like all the time, and it was just a really good counter initiation. And like most likely what you should do versus that is just have Lich run up with Chain Frost, but at the same time he can't really be that close in the fight or else he's going to get stunned out by Alk, he's going to get hit by Cask himself, and all this bad stuff's going to happen. So I think that the Witch Doctor pick, it wasn't like crucial to their lineup, but Jottam still played very well. I think the main hero here is G and AA. Those 2 players played extremely well this game. Arzart with his good black holes and G with his fantastic rotation. I think G has just been really crucial in VP's wins.
Yep, absolutely right. And again, Sharfik really getting punished for going that Hand of Midas investment. And, well, that's one way to shut down an OD. Well played by our Radiant side. So guys, that is game 2 out of 5 for the day. Coming up next is going to be the big one, Alliance versus Sigma. That was a quick game, so we're going to have about a 20-minute break here while we get the lobby up and get organized. But big match coming up next here, guys. Buckle your seatbelts, tell your friends, tell your grandmother. Sigma versus Alliance will be underway here in just about 20 minutes. I'm Zyori, with me is Merlini. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit for Starladder Season 8 coverage. Dota 2 action continues on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.